Okay. Yeah, let's go seek out Evelyn. Or should we go first to the mortician? Let's go to the mortician first. Ah, so nice to be able to walk here without getting attacked. Just cause I tried to pickpocket her once.
I'm overheating here.
So vengeful.
Ah.
There it is. I wonder if they would let us out right now, or if we are still too low level. I guess we would still be too low level.
Walls, the dead roam free.
The Legion stands at the ready.
Open the city gates, if you please.
You don't look like you're quite ready to head out into the undead-infested wilds to me. You may have the right number of champions in your party, yet in experience I think you are most probably lacking. Of course, the choice is yours. Thank you for...
You can be stupid. If you want to. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we still got some quests to do in the city. Not sure if you have to, like, first maybe to complete the Councillor Jake quest. Let's see how long it is. Aha, that looks like the mortician's house. The Corpse Compendium. Why is no one here? I know my luck. I guess he's upstairs. Robots. Hi.
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues sent another soul flying to his death?
Is that regarding the guy we found in the very beginning? Who jumped off the cliff? Tell me about yourself.
This here's my family business. Yes, there's been a Roberts escorting stiffs into the next life since the foundation of Cyseal itself. They don't write epics about morticians, but I'm proud of my work nonetheless.
What exactly can you tell me about the murder of Councillor Jake?
Sad story, that. Though if I'm speaking plainly, the sentimental aspect of it all doesn't make much of an impression on an undertaker. Especially not these days, with so many laid low by the orcs and such like. I just concern myself with giving the remains a respectable exit from life. We set him to rest in the northern graveyard. Perhaps he can finally get a little peace.
You know, there was something weird about the body.
A sheep? That's a whole heap of nonsense. Don't bother me with such wild tales.
I want to roll inside. Ah, great, now I need charisma, which I don't have that much of. Look, it's clear I'm only a few steps away from solving this mystery. If you don't tell me the truth, I'll simply find another way. Why delay the inevitable? Was that a context bonus? No. Oh, why am I on the right side? I got a context bonus. Okay. Come on, Timora, goddess of luck. Grant me a swift win. I take it.
I suppose you're right. At least if I tell you myself, you'll hear the proper account of things. I buried that blasted sheep, but I swear on my lucky left foot I had nothing to do with that body disappearing. 1 minute it was on my slab, you see. I left the room for just a moment to answer the bell in the front parlour, and when I returned, the body was simply gone. In its place was a sack containing more gold coins than I could even count. The message was clear. Silence is golden.
Ah, great dude.
My business has been declining right alongside the rest of our blighted city. And that sack of gold was worth more than I made during one of the good years. I needed cash, and someone needed my silence.
There are not enough people dying. It's horrible.
I knew I had to bury something or risk being found out. So that night, I stole into the market and made off with Bertia's fattest sheep. It was a bloody waste to stick so much fine meat into the ground to rot, but it had to be done. The next day, the pallbearers retrieved Jake's coffin, sealed to hide the body's terrible wounds, none the wiser that within the casket lay nothing more venerable than a slaughtered beast. Now, you can imagine I've spent more than my share of restless nights wondering who could have wanted that cadaver and for what purpose. I'm not an inch closer to imagining the why, but I've got a few inklings as to the who. Near as I can reckon, there are only 4 people who could have been involved. Mayor Cecil, Captain Aureus, Theleron's apprentice Evelyn, and Esmeralda.
Okay, maybe we can try to get some piece of cloth for Murphy to sniff from all of these. Why exactly do you suspect Major Cecil?
Plenty of us shopkeepers entrust the mayor with the spare keys to our businesses, you know. And he's the only person in town with a second copy of the key to the mortuary.
But he seems so old. I mean, there could be a facade, but I don't know.
He could have used it to sidle in without
Wouldn't
a peep
suspect him.
if he were so inclined.
I also don't see Captain Aureus doing that. Just say currently I would be mostly inclined to say it's Evelyn. Why exactly Captain Aureus?
Aureus himself paid me a visit the night the body was delivered. Came rapping at my door in the frosty morning before the sun had even started peeping, and told me to tell him, and only him, if I noticed anything strange or suspicious about the remains.
That's suspicious.
Can't see why he'd bothered to go through all that trouble, unless he knew something the rest of us don't.
Why exactly do you suspect Evelyn?
I know it sounds strange suspecting the doctor's apprentice of something so ghoulish as this, but there's few in this city could manage to transport a corpse without raising eyebrows. It was she who delivered Jake's body from the inn to the mortuary. And there was something about her that night. Some kind of excitement.
That's weird.
Seemed she could barely contain her thoughts. That there was something thrilling about to happen. I can't quite settle it in my mind how a young medical professional would have such a strange reaction to an occasion such as that. And this may or may not have anything to do with the whole rigmarole. But her master, Dr. Theleron, bought an old shack of mine, one overtaken by undead, for an exorbitant price considering what he was getting. I never did figure what he wanted it for, but he sure seemed eager.
I think I already know why, but why do you suspect Esmeralda?
I never saw a widow less distraught at the death of her husband, and I've seen hundreds pass through my parlor.
How many people are in this village?
It was she who rang my bell just before the body was snatched. Lured me outside, claiming she needed air, before discussing the funeral arrangements. Some accomplice could have sneaked in and grabbed the remains while I was comforting the oh-so-overcome Esmeralda.
About the bag of gold you received for keeping quiet about Jake's body.
That gold's the only good thing to come out of this blasted affair, and I certainly plan on making some use of it.
Oh, now I can, or actually I have to, persuade him to give it to me. I think charming in this occasion would be good. I'm not sure if charming maybe doesn't work cause I'm a guy and he's a guy. Don't know how this game works, how queer friendly it is. Come now, you're a good man and a pillar of this community. Hand over this blood money before it stains your reputation and your conscience. That's actually -1. Maybe he doesn't have a conscience. Ah, great. Oh, the thrill of excitement. Okay, that's close. Trusty paper. Nah.
Pillar of the community?
Attitude minus 50.
Half this city doesn't know my name, and the other half regards me as the spirit of death itself. I'll keep my reward, thanks, and the community can think whatever it wants.
Oh wow. What's my attitude? Minus 25.
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks?
Okay.
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues sent another soul flying to his death?
Ah, come on. Can you please turn around? Ah. I mean, if you're downstairs.
So, what's the bad...
I mean, if I had conflicts about stealing from him after that speech, they're gone. Okay. I'm not sure if there's anything interesting left. Ooh. The trophy, there's something. +1 charisma and reflects melee damage as earth damage. Give that one to Roderick. Okay. So we can try to charm people a little bit more.
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues... You there!
Ah.
Cut it out!
I actually didn't want to steal that. I know that may be hard to believe, but...
So, what...
Okay. Let's read it. The Second Life, Death, Rites and Rituals Among the Seven Races, Volume 1, Imps and Orcs, by Tamron Gusk. Chapter 1, Imps. In all cases, the disposal or preservation of imp corpses is left to the discretion of their masters. Typically, imps are simply burned with the evenings refused or buried alongside the dead pets of the master they served. In rare cases, especially obedient or well-loved imps will be given a traditional death rites according to the imp master's race. In the case of embalming, imps pose no special problems. In fact, they require rather less formaldehyde than a typical man, elf or dwarf. Chapter 2, Orcs. Though their practices may appear savage to the untrained eye, death inspires a complex and sometimes beautiful aspect of Orcish culture. According to the common Orcish religion, Amun-Her, the All-Mother, receives the souls of the dead. Thus, death is typically celebrated, not mourned. Amun-Her is also the name that Victoria, the Orcish librarian, used. The dead's corpse is buried immediately, and beautiful totems or other relics are erected atop the grave. These are meant to please the Old Mother when she comes for the spirit of the dead. Next, the tribe members, from toddlers to elders, the Queen included, form a great ring and each by each relate a cherished memory of the deceased. Thus, the life and the passing of the deceased are recalled with joy, and of the deceased it just repeats the sentence. Are recalled with joy and excitement. However, if any are caught mourning the dead, in words or by tears, the punishment is death. For surely any who would mourn the passing of a soul to the All-Mother is a traitor and a disbeliever. I didn't want to take that, but I take it. Randomly getting XP. Robert's Ledger. Furthermore, I find it impossible that any but Major Cyseal, Captain Aureus, Evelyn or Esmeralda would have been able to gain access to the body without my noticing. A corpse can't just vanish into thin air, and even if it could, it's not as though a strong wind would blow a sack of gold into the empty slab. No, one of them must have been involved, but as long as no one goes digging up Jack's coffin, I don't see how the crime could ever be traced back to me. Yeah. Guess that's bad luck. Okay. I want to try to go to the marketplace and tell Basha if she's still there and see what she's going to do. Because I don't know, I could imagine her to be a bit vengeful. I'm hungry.
Tomatoes.
Hey, Basha. Oh, excuse me.
Sauce hunters, eh? All right, proper, we're finally getting a hand. Things is chaos. If you've got a favourite sheep, best to fry her up now before she gets thieved
About
in the
your
night
stolen
like me
sheep.
dear that louse. Did he even bother grilling a single luscious chop? I bet he wasted every last morsel. Captain Aureus will have a thing or two to say about this.
He will be so annoyed. How do we follow her? Okay, we can't. Super speed. Is Evelyn even still around? Here's a backpack with a key to her house. Weird. Yeah. Oops.
You notice something being slipped into your hand. One of Wolgraff's notes. It reads,
Saw you steal. No biggie. I'm a thief. But didn't think a sauce hunter would pinch.
the rogue keeps his eyes fixed on yours. He's expecting an answer.
Oh, I don't like the second one. I don't like... Well, maybe that's what I do, but I don't want to say I'm above the law. Ah, come on. A Source Hunter is above the law, really. If I want something, I take it. For the good of our investigations, of course. Wink wink. Yeah, don't worry about it. The world is our oyster, and all the oyster pearls belong to us.
Wolgraff shakes his head disapprovingly.
Oh,
It
interesting.
seems he holds you to standards very different from his own. You get the impression
Aw.
he's just lost a little faith in you.
Oh. But you are a thief as well. Double standards. Let's ask Therion where his apprentice
What
is.
do I owe the repeated pleasure, Source Hunter?
Ah, not skilled enough. Let's discuss your apprentice, Evelyn.
Far be it from her to tell her master what in the seven's name she's up to. The girl flew from here like she just heard the location of the Philosopher's Stone. She even left her pouch unattended in the next room. Most unlike her, to be sure.
What about her pouch?
She usually keeps it within sight at all times. Very strange.
It's with the
she'd
key.
leave it behind. It's in the next room if you'd like to take a look.
Where exactly do you think she could have run off to?
I'd try her house, for starters. It's not far from here. I'll mark the location on your map.
Okay. Yeah, I think we may be onto something here. Okay. Let's just collect. Let's just collect the pieces of clothes to give to Murphy. So to the mayor, to Captain Aureus, then to Murphy. Yeah. And then we go look more for
What? Oh, it's you!
Evelyn.
What news?
A smelly ring? You. Tell me a bit more about Victoria, the Orc Librarian.
My dear girl.
You understood that
my darling
correctly.
adopted daughter. My pride and joy.
Oh.
I introduced her to my library when she was a girl. She quickly proved that the preconceptions we humans hold of orcs as savage beasts are patently false. If you're looking for something special, just ask. She knows every book by heart. Papa's smart little cookie.
Oh. You know you've been named a suspect in Jake's murder case.
Jake? Murdered, you say? Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Now I remember. Well, I'm sure the facts will prove me innocent. Keep investigating. You'll see for yourselves in time.
Okay, he seems to be pretty unconcerned by that.